Hi, my name is Eddie and this is How to Get Living. Today I'm going to talk about motivation from negative emotions. This is a really cool topic. Once you start to understand this, it can really transform the way you view yourself and the way you view your emotions. You may have heard people say that you'll do more to avoid pain than you will to get pleasure. One of my sort of semi-mentors, a guy called Tony Robbins, you can look him up online. He's a massive famous speaker and life coach and business mentor. He's very wise, he has a lot to offer. Tony Robbins, he likes to say this: people will do more to avoid pain than they will to get pleasure. Okay, and that's profoundly true. Think about it. What if I told you, I'm going to give you $100 if you run 5Ks right now? You might do it. You might think, okay, yeah, 5Ks, $100, that sounds reasonable. But what if I told you, if you don't run 5Ks, I'm going to shoot you. Run 5Ks right now, I'm going to kill you, or I'm going to torture you. You're more likely to do it. You don't want to have the pain. You don't want to be killed, okay? You're scared maybe of dying or being hurt. Okay, that's just a very simple example, but it's profoundly true. Start to think about it. Examine it in your life. People will do more to avoid pain than they will to get pleasure. Okay, negative emotion is not something to split off and consider as bad. It's not a bad thing. It's there to motivate you. It's there to motivate you. If you're afraid of something, that's telling you that there is danger and you actually need to deal with that. Okay? The fear and or anger, because fear often transmutes into anger, sometimes very quickly, they're both indications of danger and they're both there to stimulate you and give you the energy. This is your autonomic nervous system here in operation. They're there to give you the energy to run away or fight. That's what they do. It's really that simple. If you're terrified of something, you're equipped instantly to run. If you're really angry, you're equipped instantly to fight. Okay? That's a super simplistic example, but in general, I want you to understand that negative emotions are there to motivate you. They create energy in your body, okay? And they're there to help you do something. Let's go to a more complex example. What if you have a bad relationship or a series of bad relationships, and when the relationship's in, or while you're in that relationship, when your partner does something that really hurts you, you feel really terrible. You're really terrible. They betray you, they do something, they let you down in some horrible way. You feel all this horrible emotion, okay? The emotion is there to help you and teach you. When you can get to a point where you can feel the negative emotion and integrate it into your body and become essentially used to it, when you then in the future think about that event that caused the negative emotion, you'll want to behave differently. The emotion will stimulate you to choose a different pattern. I myself have been through a pattern of being in a negative relationship for a long time and returning back to it, even though I was terribly hurt. It was only after I began to really absorb and process and sit with the negative emotion caused by the events in that relationship, only then was I able to actually examine those events and see that I didn't want to be in that place. I didn't want to experience those events anymore. And I lost the other emotions that were keeping me there, you know, because when you're hurt and in that cycle of pain, you'll get hurt and then you'll get lonely. It's sad, miss that other person, even though they did something that really has hurt you. You go back. Okay, that's actually an addictive cycle. Could do 5 videos on that easily. But the point is that absorbing and integrating and processing the negative emotion from that kind of pattern actually protects you. It protects you from going back there in the future. Okay, so what does this mean practically? Well, I've done a video recently about preparing yourself physically to handle negative emotion, and another one about how to process it. Okay, so the point is that you need to be able to absorb, to handle and process your negative emotion. And when you're doing that, it's going to protect you and stimulate you from situations that create negative emotion. So practically speaking, what I want you to do is start examining your life and look at places where you are squashing the negative emotion. You're distracting yourself. Your life may be set up, mine was, to avoid negative emotion. I distract myself with computer games, talking to people, going out, playing music, doing all kinds of activities that were really just there to cover up the fact that I was in pain all the time, going to work, helping other people, all kinds of things. Instead of processing my negative emotions, sitting with it and feeling it when it would rise, I would do something else. And actually, my whole life had become layered up with structures and processes and behaviors that were just there to protect me from feeling my negative emotion. As I started to feel my negative emotion, then I started to change my behavior because it began to protect me from the situations that would cause that negative emotion in the future. Okay, so it's very, very important, very powerful to understand what I'm talking about, and you really do that by practicing what I've already spoken about. Okay, so that's building up your physical ability to handle negative emotion, then processing it. Why would you do that? Because it helps you avoid situations in the future where you will feel negative emotion. A really practical example might be at work. If you feel demotivated or you're finding it difficult to concentrate on a regular pattern, you might find that what you've done is actually create patterns and structures around yourself to help you stay distracted, to prevent you from feeling the bad feelings that you know will come because you aren't focusing properly at work. You aren't actually motivated. What if there's things you want to do with your physical health and fitness? You want to go to the gym and get fit, but you can't quite seem to get the motivation. What you may find is that there's somewhere in your life where you actually feel negative emotion about the fact that you haven't done that, you haven't achieved the goal that you want, you haven't got as fit as you want, you haven't lost the weight you want to, but you've got another structure that is preventing you, distracting you from feeling the negative emotion that is arising because you haven't achieved what you want. You want to go to the gym, but you don't. You feel guilty about that, so you eat some ice cream. Have you thought about that? Notice what you're doing. The real sort of tip here to gain your motivation is to try to work on processing the emotion. Okay, that will relieve you of the need to distract yourself and cover over the negative emotion. It will empower you to avoid situations in the future where you feel negative emotion. Okay, this is complicated. I'm going a little bit deeper than I often do. Go back and watch the video about handling negative emotion and watch the video about processing negative emotion. Okay, and then watch this one again, and then watch them all several times, and then watch all my videos all again a few times, because it takes a while to understand what I'm really talking about. Apply rule number 1, get a little better every day. If you start doing this, it's going to really start improving your motivation in general across the board. Learn to process your negative emotion. Okay, that will take away the need to distract yourself from it all the time, and it will empower you to do the things you really want to do. Negative emotion is there to help you to avoid bad situations in the future. Okay, it's very powerful, and understanding this is going to really change your life a lot. I know it. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe. Click that subscribe button, and make sure you click the little bell so that you get a notification when I upload a video. Like this video, share it with your friends, comment on it below, and thank you so much for your time and energy. I really appreciate the fact that you are learning how to get living. My name is Eddie, and we together are learning how to get living. Thank you very much.